Let's look at what Isaiah chapter 4 means. So it begins with in verse 2, so talking about the glorious hope that we have of Jesus, of the Messiah, the coming Messiah, and the coming of the Lord into the life of the individual. So we see that this is speaking in verse 2, this says the branch of the Lord. This is a messianic prophecy. There's a messianic title here. And we see that this is later on and also used in Isaiah chapter 11, verse 1, Jeremiah chapter 23, verse 5, Jeremiah chapter 33, verse 15, and Zechariah chapter 3, verse 8. And all these are speaking of the Messiah. And this speaks of being the branch of the Lord, speaks of the fruitful bounty and blessing. Then in verse 3, we see that this means that they will set their lives apart for the Lord. And then in verse 3, we see that, and what the context of this and what this is saying is that those who are left, those who make a desire, those who make it through, and those who respond to the Lord, if this is for us today, but also those who make it through, and in those days, those who would make it through the trials and the difficulty that was coming in captivity, also for us in our lives, if we make it through and we respond to Jesus's call on our lives, and then in future, going through and making it through even the still future difficulties. Those who make it through, they will see and they will have the expectant. And this will be such a great refreshment and such a great encouragement of the Messiah that is coming. And what this promise and what this is saying is that they will set their lives apart for the Lord. And this is what the Lord desires for each one of us, is that we will, when we respond to Jesus, that we set our lives apart for the Lord. And that's what it means to be called holy. It does not mean that we are perfect. It does not mean that we are better than anyone else. But what it means is that we desire now for our lives to be used by the Lord. That we have a desire for life to be dedicated to the Lord. We no longer have a desire for our life to be dedicated to the things of the world. We no longer have a desire that what we spend all of our attention and that we spend the primarily amount of our energy, the primary amount of our finances or anything like that, going towards what the world says is most important for us.